Welcome back to BNG Hockey, where it's always black and gold. This has been a crazy week in the NHL. We got to all the free agents the Bruins signed, we got to the David Krejci news, but we didn't get a chance to talk about the free agents leaving the team. So in this video, we're going to see where guys went, what they got for money, and how I think that'll impact the team moving forward. Let's get started. Starting things off with Sean Kuraly. He signed a 4-year deal with a cap hit of $2.5 million with the Columbus Blue Jackets. Now, Sean Kuraly is from Columbus, so he's the hometown boy. I'm sure CBJ is happy to have him. The fans will like him a lot. I love Sean Kuraly. I would say at one point in time, he was in my top 5 for favorite Bruins. But after a while, his game started to grow a little stale, very similar to a Chris Wagner, where I feel like they were just getting a little too comfortable in their role, losing that energy. Now, Kuraly is one of those guys who definitely brings a lot of energy when he's at the top of his game. He can move up and down the lineup, but he's really just a bottom 6 guy. Every now and then he pops in a big goal, and he gives us that famous Corral Leap celebration, so I'm definitely going to miss that, but I do think it was time for the Bruins to move on. Their bottom 6 was pretty bad last year, so overall, I'm fine with a shakeup, and I hope Kuraly does well going back home. I think it'll be a nice fit for him and a good change of scenery, and hopefully he gets back to his game and does well. Next up is Jaroslav Halak. He signs a 1-year deal with a cap hit of $1.5 million to join the Vancouver Canucks. This was an interesting move by the Canucks. They buy out Braden Holtby, who's now a member of the Dallas Stars, and go with Halak to back up Thatcher Demko. Thatcher Demko's a very good young goaltender. He's more than capable of playing a majority of the starts, and that's good because as long as you don't play Halak too much, he's a very good backup. Now, I know there's some Bruins fans out there who don't love Halak. They wanted him to be a lot better in the playoff bubble against the Tampa Bay Lightning, but really, we shouldn't have expected him to win that. At this point in his career, he's just not a starter. But as a backup, I thought he went above and beyond. Him and Rask were one of the best tandems in the league his entire time here. He got us some wins, he played his role. At the end, it kind of got stale, and he wasn't even playing for us. He wasn't even on the bench in the playoffs, so I'm not surprised to see the two sides part ways. The emergence of Jeremy Swayman helps us move on, and I'm really excited to see a new tandem of Ullmark and Swayman, or maybe Rask being thrown in the deal. But I wish Jaroslav Halak all the best, and in his short time as a Bruin, I thought he was a good one. This is a good one, Bruins fans. Nick Ritchie signs a 2-year deal with a cap hit of $2.5 million with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now, this shouldn't come as too much of a surprise. He did grow up a Leafs fan, and they have some good young players in Matthews, Marner, and Nylander, so I can see the appeal. But all in all, I'm glad that Don didn't take the cheese on this one. And what I mean by that is, yes, Ritchie had a good season, but I think it was more of a fluke, and I'm not just saying that because he left. You can look back on Nick Ritchie's history. He's a lot more of a bottom 6 grinder than he is a top 6 star. Now, he was good in front of the net on the power play. He put up 15 goals in a shortened season. I respect that. It's not like 2 years at $2.5 million is a horrible contract. But we're paying a guy like Eric Hall less money, and that's a guy I feel can move up and down the lineup and do a lot more. We have to remember, at times, Nick Ritchie goes cold. He takes stupid penalties. Yes, he brings size and physicality, and that's something that the Bruins need. But I would rather move on from him, especially because when he's not bringing that, or if that's the only thing he's bringing, he's not really worth that at a $2.5 million cap hit. I would much rather pay a guy like Trent Frederick under $1 million to play the same role. Now, maybe he plays in the top 6 with Matthews and Marner. He'll probably put up some points, but frankly, I don't know if he can keep up. Eventually, he'll get cold. Eventually, he'll take some dumb penalties, and he won't be worth that contract. Now, Nick Ritchie had a great year. He won the NESN 7th Player Award. He'll always be a fan favorite. He's fun to watch at times, but all in all, I don't think it'll be this big loss for the Bruins, and they can definitely replace him. But Ritchie isn't the only one going to Toronto. They also signed Ondrej Kase to a 1-year deal with a cap hit of $1.2 million. Apparently, Kyle Dubas really liked Don Sweeney's 2020 trade deadline. And I did too. I was really excited about both these players. They didn't really pan out, but I was most excited about Ondrej Kase. This is a guy who brings a ton of speed, has a great shot, and is still on the younger side. But unfortunately, he was hurt his entire time with the Boston Bruins. Now, I'll admit, I was happy they didn't qualify him because that would have been an overpayment, but I was kind of hoping they brought him back on a 1-year deal at league minimum just to give him a shot, because I do think when this player is healthy, he's a really good middle 6 forward. Now, the problem is he is literally never healthy, and signing him at $1.2 million is not going to make a lot of sense because he's probably going to get hurt right off the bat. Now, they can just bury that in the minors, so maybe they want to do that. It is worth the risk because, as I said, if he's healthy, I do think this guy is a solid top 9 NHL forward. And I do think his speed will play well into the Maple Leafs game. So this is worth the risk, but honestly, I just think the cap hit's too high for a guy who's sadly at this point in his career probably isn't going to play for much longer due to injury. Moving on now to Tinordi. Now, this isn't a guy who was in the Bruins lineup every night, but I wanted to throw him in the video because I thought he was a great waiver claim by Don Sweeney. He brought a lot of physicality and size and had a couple memorable fights standing up for a team he just joined. Now, the Rangers are looking for guys who can take care of Tom Wilson. They traded a 3rd-round pick for Ryan Reeves, and we know that Tinordi can definitely handle Tom Wilson as well. I was kind of hoping the Bruins kept this guy as a 7th defenseman. We lost Steven Kampfer. He was always that guy who kind of came into the lineup when we needed him because of injuries. And I thought Tinordi would be a nice add when we needed size, playing a bigger lineup, or as I said, just being extra depth when somebody went down on the left side. Now, we did pay Derek Forbort, who's just a little bit better, more expensive Tinordi, so I guess I'm fine with that. I'll probably warm up to that. And Tinordi is nothing more than a depth defenseman, nothing to be sad over, but overall, he really surprised me because I had never heard of him, and then I thought he was a great Bruin in the couple of games he played. And lastly, we have Greg Mckegg. He signed a 1-year deal with a $750,000 cap hit, also with the New York Rangers. I put him in this video because I thought it was really funny that the Bruins brought him in last year and literally did not use him. He played 5 games for the Bruins. He did have a goal, but I thought the Bruins' 4th line was so bad and they just never gave this guy a shot. So what does that say about his game? I guess he's not an everyday NHL player. I don't even know about his game because I barely got to see him. So best of luck with the New York Rangers, Greg. Thanks for the 5 games. That's all I got for you in this one. Let me know your thoughts on these guys leaving the Bruins. Is there anyone you're happy to see go? Anyone you're sad to see go? Anyone you're looking forward to playing against? I can tell you that I am definitely looking forward to beating Nick Ritchie, Ondrej Kase, and the Toronto Maple Leafs in next year's playoffs. We all know it's coming. So leave all that down below in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a big like. And if you haven't already, subscribe.